Life is what you make it. And becoming a blogger was one of the hardest things I have ever had to do, aside from being a pre-professional dancer that never went professional. But what life has taught me is that it's okay to fail, move on, try something new. And if you have a creative gene, don't let it go to waste. I hope you enjoyed my discussion of my blog journey. Good morning. Hello, everyone. I hope you're having a great morning. I just wanted to talk today and talk about my blog journey, Instagram journey, and now YouTube. So, I'm a born and raised New Yorker, and I think in late 2016, I had no idea what I was doing, and I decided to start an Instagram page. And at the time, it was private, and I had no path, no direction. And then suddenly I went public. I said, this is kind of boring being private. Let me try the public path, which was very scary for me because I've always been a private person. So I was completely clueless about what I was doing, and I just started creating content. Over the years, I developed a blog with no help. I never had a marketing team, and I never planned to be a blogger. I never planned to be a content creator. But I'll say this, if you put effort into anything, something will come out of it. And what I mean by this is that I never in my life imagined that I could get paid from being on a camera phone or taking photos and have brands want to pay you to advertise for them. I've always wanted to be in commercials, and I've always had a passion to be on film. And I think God has a way of giving you what you want, maybe not in the light or the way you thought it would be, but I would just say, if you have a passion to blog, to do YouTube, Instagram, I say just start and go with the flow. Now, my design, of course, is not what most people would do. It's very, very eclectic. I use lots of color and pattern. But if I can't be myself and be unique and genuine, if I just did what was trendy or I guess what everyone else was doing, then it wouldn't be me and it wouldn't be fun. So I work in finance. That's my full-time job, and I actually really enjoy blogging and being a creative content creator more so than I imagined. So now that I'm working from home, I'm putting so much effort into my blog. I'm trying to beef up my entire brand, and I don't have any help. And I think I want to do this on my own, and I think, it's special when you accomplish something with no help. But I'll tell you this, I grew up with a single parent, and I think that allowed me to be strong enough to do everything that I'm doing. I mean, I paid my way through college. No one has ever given me anything for nothing. Everything I have, I worked so hard for it. And this blog is something I've been working so hard for because I wanted it so bad. I'm so passionate about sharing a positive light. Sharing a Black woman in a positive light has always been my theme of, I think many people never really would have known how someone like me lived, the way I cook, the way I style, the way I think it's pretty fascinating. And I don't consider myself a narcissistic person. I think I want to inspire people, and inspiring people makes me happy, and being myself and being goofy. So if you follow me on Instagram, here's my Instagram name, you'll see that I probably do lots of stories, sharing cooking, sharing New York scenes. I could tell you a lot about how I grew up in New York, but I could tell you that now. So I was born in Brooklyn, and my mom lived in, I think, Fort Greene for a while. And at the time, the neighborhood wasn't too great, so she moved to Queens, and we lived in a two-family house with my aunt. I'll never forget that. And one thing I can tell you, New York has taught me to embrace other cultures and diversity, and I'm so happy that I was able to grow up around Indians, Polish people, Italians, every race you can think of. I went to a predominantly white school from, I guess I say middle school, grade school until junior high school, so I have all sorts of friends from different backgrounds. The cultural environment has enhanced my style. I think living in New York, growing up in New York, it's all reflective of how I style, how I think, how I cook. You are a product of your environment, whether you believe it or not. So, like I said, I grew up in a multicultural area, and I moved to Queens, and when I lived in Queens for a very long time, I probably have more of a Queens accent than anything. And then in 1989, my mom decided, in 1989, she decided to move. I was a teenager at the time, to Manhattan. And it was the scariest time of my life because where I lived in Queens, it was quiet, it's very suburban. We had grass, I used to bike to the park, and then I moved to the city and it was like a shocker. It was so fast-paced, so scary, so many people, and now I've learned to embrace it and love that I'm in the epicenter of the most amazing place in the planet. And maybe one day I will leave, but not yet, because I still haven't figured out where else I would want to live in the world. But I do know that this place keeps me going, it keeps me young, and the energy is just incredible. And you never feel lonely living in a city like New York. Now, my husband, how did I meet my husband? I always like to tell this story. So it was years ago, and I was shopping for a VCR for my first apartment in the city, and he was shopping for a VCR. Yeah, he was, and I was shopping for paint at Janovic Paint for my first apartment. I mixed that story up. And we locked eyes on the street, and it was the most organic way of meeting someone, and we exchanged numbers on paper. That's how long ago it was. And we've been with each other for 19 years. My husband is Italian American. He was born and raised in Manhattan, and the neighborhood we live in now is the neighborhood he was born and raised in and has lived in since he was a baby. So I'm very fortunate to meet someone who we both share the same values. We're both Christian. We both love the same kind of music. We love hip hop music. We love alternative music. It's just a mesh of everything I ever wanted in a man. And he always reminds me that he prayed for someone like me. And we've been with each other for 19 years. We just celebrated our anniversary in July. And I just couldn't imagine my life without him. But I just wanted to say that everything I do is in the most organic way. I try to do things organically. I met my husband organically. I try not to think too much, not overthink things, and putting yourself out on social media is really scary because you're going to be judged for what you're doing. People are going to look at you. People could say mean things to you. But I'm learning slowly. I'm still learning to brush things off and be who I am, my authentic self. And I'm not so much worried about how many followers I have, and people reached out to me to buy followers. It's just insane. So if I continue to enjoy it and have fun, I think I'll be here for a while. And yeah, that's it. So if you have a passion, do it. If you love it, be authentic, and just don't be afraid to take that risk as I have. And if you check out my blog, I started my blog on my own. I didn't have a web developer. I didn't have a budget. I didn't have anything. And just remember, you may see what people have, but you don't know what they go through. Blogging is so hard. Making it a career is really hard because you have to pitch to brands, and I haven't pitched to a brand in a long time, but lately I've just been getting brands. Brands have been reaching out to me, which I think is great, but you have to pitch, you have to write content, you have to constantly be creative. When I wake up in the morning, if I'm not feeling creative, I don't know if I'm going to be able to put out something that's, good or different. But no matter what, it will always be authentic. And just remember, what you see is not easy. It's very, very hard work, and I think that's all I'm going to say today, but we'll continue to have discussions like this. And again, my name is Tanika. Subscribe. Let's get to know each other. It's not just about me prancing around my apartment. It's not just about me showing off my outfits. It's a little deeper than that. And yeah, so that's it. And I'll see you all soon. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And thank you for being in my corner. That's it for now.